Good evening, everyone. And all my Kerala Malayali friends, happy Onam. Hope you had all a great Onam Sadayam today. It's another interesting edition of Wildlife Conservation of India. Today we are going to have the Wildlife Conservation of India Season 2 finale session. We covered almost 13 guest photographers. Today we are going to have very interesting photographer, Mr. Sandeep Das from Kerala, actually Tricur. I know him from his student days. Okay, now he is a research scholar, going to be doctor within few months. His specialty is amphibians and reptiles. He is amazing, exclusive photographer of our Western Ghats jewels, you can say. Really, I am looking forward to today's session. I hope you will also love this informative and few exclusive photographs, okay? Because macro photography we have seen, but his photographs are very amazing and with so much information, resource knowledge, no? Not only a photographer, he knows his pieces, what are the how to identify, what is the significance, importance of species. So please welcome Sandeep Das for our Wildlife Conservation India program. Please, Sandeep, please join us. Yeah, good evening, Sandeep.
Good evening, ma'am.
Happy Onam.
Happy Onam to you too. Happy Onam to everyone.
So how is everything? You are from Tricur now, based now we are in Tricur.
Yes, I'm from Tricur, based in Central Kerala.
Central Kerala. Okay. Thank you, Sandeep. I know you are a busy person, always in the field. Thank you for accepting our invitation to give talk here. And really, I am looking forward to listen your talks and photographs. I hope our Zoom participant also interested, and my Facebook friends and fans also really looking forward to your session. Please, webinar is yours, Sandeep. Please, you can go ahead. And I request all my webinar Zoom participants and Facebook participants, if you have any questions, please, you can, Facebook fans, you can just type questions in the comments on the below video. And Zoom participants, you can go for Q&A session also, or setbacks also, you can type your questions. So end of the session, we will ask Sandeep your queries. Okay, yeah, please.
Thank you, madam. So yeah, it's my honor to be here, and thank you, Wildlife Conservation of India and Radhika ma'am, for giving me an opportunity. Yeah, I listened to most of the last sessions, and it was a fantastic lineup. Like many stalwarts in the field, they came and shared their experience. So I was initially wondering, like what should I speak about? Whether it should be on the science part or whether it should be on the photography part. So what I am thinking about is that I'll just briefly describe what amphibians are, and then introduce some flagship species that are in the Western Ghats, and slowly I'll share some of my images and experiences in the field. So yeah, I'll start sharing my screen.
Yeah, please.
Is it visible now?
The screen share, you have to screen share.
I've shared. It should be coming now.
Yeah.
It's visible, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, to start with, what are amphibians? That's like a question I always ask to students or fellow photographers or friends. So the first thing that comes to our mind is, like, be it a student or a grown-up or everyone, no matter what the age is, the first thing that comes to our mind is amphibian is an animal that can live both in land and water.
Yeah.
And yeah, the name also suggests that it derived from the word amphibios, which means dual mode of life. If we go by that particular definition, all these animals that are there in the slide qualify to be an amphibian. But we know that a turtle is not an amphibian, it's a reptile. We know that hippo is a mammal. We know that a crocodile is a reptile. We know that, like, only the frog in this image is an amphibian. So there lies the tricky part. So the character that an animal can live both in land and water alone is not the character for amphibian. It's a combination of characters. Some which are, as we all know, one of key factors. Amphibian eggs don't have an eggshell. They don't have a hard protective covering. You can see several amphibian eggs in this image. At least, if not in person, we might have seen amphibian eggs in our textbooks or in social media.
Sandeep, sorry to disturb. These are eggs.
Yeah. These are all eggs of different species or different groups of amphibians. Okay. So, contrary, other than the other animals, considering the reptiles or birds, so their eggs have hard protective shell, but amphibians lack that shell. So since they don't have a protective hard shell, they depend on water to some extent in their life. So that is one character. Then another character is that their skin is permeable. We all know that their skin is moist. They need wet, humid conditions. They can breathe through their skin. Unlike the reptiles, the next group of animals, reptiles have very strong scales on their body. They have they're not like the amphibians. So amphibians, their skin is permeable. They don't have an eggshell, and they are dependent on water to some extent for breeding. Since these eggs are not having an eggshell, they have to come back to water. At least a major group of amphibians, they have to come back to water. So yeah, this is actually an image taken in a cold stream in Erviculam National Park. These are the tadpoles of a species called as the Thaphrunus microtympana. This was taken with a basic underwater bag by Dicopac with my camera in it. It was not so deep and all. So after a lot of trials and errors, I've managed to get one where the tadpoles are in focus. So other than that, they are cold-blooded animals. They can't regulate their body temperature according to the atmospheric conditions like us. So amphibians, when we talk about their evolution, like the fishes, lobe-finned fishes, their lobes slowly developed into hind limbs and they crawled out of water. They are considered to be the ancestors of amphibians, like the first early amphibians. Okay. And even when they crawled out of water, they have to come back to water because they don't have an eggshell. They depend on water. At that stage, another group of animals, they evolved an eggshell and they started colonizing the earth. They are the reptiles. So I'm just briefly describing. I'm not seriously diving into the science part of it, but for a basic understanding. And when the reptiles started colonizing and when the other animals started colonizing, amphibians, they shrunk in size and they started adapting to several microhabitats. So if you go to a forest or if you go to a habitat, amphibians inhabit in several microhabitats or microclimatic conditions. So if you look at this art, look at this painting, you can see amphibians underground. There are amphibians in the roof. There are amphibians in the plants. There are amphibians in the canopy. There are amphibians in the tree holes. So they adapted to different microhabitats. So different microhabitats will have different climatic conditions. So they adapted accordingly. And that's why they are so unique and they are dependent on our forests and our climatic conditions a lot. One second. Just a minute, the slide is moving, it's taking a bit of a time. Yeah, so yeah, okay. So amphibians, the present day amphibians, there are three major groups. So when we talk amphibians or when we say amphibians, most of us know about frogs and toads, but it's not just frogs and toads. There are two other groups of animals. So Anura is the group, which means basically Anura means without a tail. Those are the frogs and toads that we all know. Then comes the group Chordata. It includes amphibians which are lizard-like. They look like lizard, but they are amphibians. Their skin is permeable. They don't have an eggshell, and they are dependent on water at some point. And the third group is order Gymnophauna. And order Gymnophauna are lizard-like, sorry, not lizard-like, snake-like amphibians. They literally look like snake. or earthworms basically. But if you touch them or if you go by them, you can see them like they have rings all over their body and they have a strong vertebral column, unlike the earthworms. So basically, I'm not getting into details. So frogs and toads, they can jump, they have a tympanum, their adult doesn't have a gills. They can, some are leaping forms, some are swimming forms. They don't have scales, which we already discussed. Second group is these salamanders and newts. They are lizard-like, and some of them, the image on the right, the bizarre-looking animal is a Mexican axolotl. It was actually photographed like in captivity. This was from the London Zoo. So they retain the gills even when they are adults. So these kind of unique behavior is also seen among amphibians. Third group, as we all discussed just now, they have these rings all over their body. And if you look carefully, you can see a clear mouth. There is, you can see the eyes. They have nostrils and a sensory tentacle. So these animals, these caecilians, they are fossorial. They live underground. They live underground, and like during monsoons, when the rains hit pretty hard, when the areas get flooded, they come out. So rarely we get to see these caecilians. Otherwise, most of the time they are underground. So recently, like last year, there was a discovery in a species called Stephanopsis annulatus. Scientists discovered that those caecilians has venom, which is similar to the snakes. But even that is the case, they can't bite humans. None of the caecilians in India are venomous, at least from the understanding that we have until now. And even if they have venom, they won't be able to bite us because they have very small mouth. It is only equipped to feed on their prey, which is mostly
poisonous, Sandeep? Are they poisonous?
So the ones seen in India, like they're not poisonous or venomous. That is our understanding until now. So this one, which is seen, this particular species, Stephanopsis annulatus, that one is venomous. Even if they are venomous, they can't harm us because they can't open their mouth wide and bite us or that kind of harm they can't do to us. So yeah, when we look at amphibians all over the world, this is again like an older number. There are several more species added in the last 2-3 months. So more than 8,300 species of amphibians are found in the world. And among that 8,300 species, majority of them are from the group frogs and toads. The important point, the takeaway from this is Western Ghats has around more than 220 species. Kerala has around 180 species. Out of them, most of them, more than 90% of them are found nowhere else in the world but in the Western Ghats.
Wow. Okay. So endemic to Western Ghats.
Yes, that level of endemism is not seen in any other groups other than amphibians and fishes. In the vertebrates, I mean.
Okay.
And yeah, this is just this is a map to show like the richness of the global amphibian species richness around the world. And when we look at India, India is still yellow. Yellow indicates like good diversity. And if you look at Western Ghats and the Himalayan, northeastern Himalayan part and all, you can see the red area, again denotes high level of diversity. And being a person who lives close to the Western Ghats, like we are actually, like I'm actually lucky to explore these areas, study these animals and all.
One of the hotspot, Western Ghats and Himalayas, one of the hotspot biodiversity.
Yes,
you guys are lucky, yeah.
Yeah, when I look at myself as a photographer, I didn't start as a photographer. I started like most of the photographers and most of the naturalists. I also started as a bird watcher. Slowly, at some point, I realized that there are a lot of migratory birds were coming. A lot of interesting and unique birds are coming, and we are seeing them and we're keeping a note of them. But in the modern world of photography and all these recording equipments, just notes like they are good enough, but having a proof of what we see or having a proof for a scientific documentation found really like a need. And then at that time, I had this amazing photographer who lives close to me, who is a mentor to me. So Praveen P. Mohandas. So I took up photography seeing his photographs. So he suggested my first camera. And when I bought my first camera, I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know like what are the technicalities of camera.
Now
my primary aim.
I have to mention Praveen become a creative photographer. Now he is a master of creative photography.
Exactly. We're all. I mean, like I am proud to say that I'm his student in
I have to
photography.
say Sandeep, and I recommended to as he's one of the good, known architecture from Tricur. I recommended my friend's house also, and he done beautifully. It's a greenhouse. Okay, last week only I had a talk with him. He's really creative person. It's good. You learn from him. Basic.
Yeah, he inspires a lot of people in Kerala. Super. So yeah, like that way I took up photography. So for me, like photography as a priority then was to record it. So even when I started photographing amphibians or reptiles, the priority or the primary aim was scientific documentation.
But now also, I think, I believe even for birds, other even Indian wildlife photography also, not only Indian, all over the world, Sandeep, the first priority for wildlife photography is documentation. Because without photographing tigers, people are saying after 20 years, we may be seeing tigers in the only pictures. So I think all first priority is to document our species. Then comes other creative purpose, storytelling and all. It's good. Yeah, please carry on.
Yeah. So like over the course of time, I like kind of, I mean, I don't know whether I can tell that I mastered my equipment, but I kind of got used to it. That's when slowly, like if I see an animal, I take a record shot, I take a proper shot for a scientific documentation purpose. And after that, then I'll think about it. Okay, what can I do to make it unique, or what unique perspective can I bring it? So for that, I watch photographs of senior persons like you, Praveen, Zithiman, international photographers. I watch the Wildlife Photographer of the Year website every now and then. So that's how that image making process slowly evolved.
Now I think you mastered your macro photography. You are going, I can see what it is, what species you are creating with different angles, different point of view. I don't know how close you are going to that species. No, I feel for us, amphibians, snakes and all, it's very afraid. I even viper also seeing very, it's very dangerous to me, but you are going very close up with and all. Even amphibians also, you are doing a lot of creative photography. We are really looking forward to see the images. Can't wait to see. Yeah, please carry on.
Yes, madam. Yeah, so I'll quickly wrap up this science part, and we'll move on to the photographs. So yeah, looking at the amphibians, like around more than 100 species are extinct. This is the number that we know. There are a lot more amphibians that have gone extinct, which we don't know at all. So these are some species like gastric rooting frog. Then the one on the left is the golden toad. And the one on right is actually, it's not an extinct frog. It was thought to be extinct, but then more people started working in the field, and this animal was found in a larger area than it was expected. So it's not always it is the case that like animals always goes extinct and all. Here the case was there was a dearth of scientists or researchers looking for the animal. So when there is an increased interest, or when more people started going in the field, we are getting more and more.
You can say reinvented. Already it was there. You can say reinvented. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, when the effort is more, we are getting to see more. So still there are a lot of opportunities in this field of say amphibians, reptiles, and all. Super. We need more people. So yeah, when we talk about the threats, there are a variety of threats. Like one, of course, like anthropogenic threats is a major issue, like linear intrusions, roadkills, pollution, then like human-driven changes, landscape destruction. And not recently, there had been reports of several diseases like the chytrid fungus, then the Rana virus. A lot of threats are faced by these amphibians. So that's the image of one of the most iconic and unique species smashed on the road, like when it came out for breeding. I'll talk about it when I talk about the species later. So again, a general concept and general notion that we have this frogs lay eggs, and the eggs develop into tadpoles. Tadpoles lives in the water for some time, and then they slowly metamorphosize into miniature adults, and the cycle continues. So when they are tadpoles, their only aim is to feed and store the energy. And this energy is being used up when they transform, when they metamorphosize. And the energy is mostly stored in their tail musculature. So the tail is not getting broken off, but it is getting resorbed into their body. So this is the general life cycle that we all know. But there is a difference. Like when we spoke about amphibians depend on water to some extent. There are exceptions. Nature is always about surprises. Nature is always about interesting and unique stories.
Okay.
So there are a group of frogs called as direct developing frog, whose eggs directly hatch out miniature adult. As it is seen in this picture, the whole development happens inside the egg. There is no tadpole stage. They bypass that tadpole stage, so they don't have to go to water to lay their eggs, but they still need humid, wet, like somewhat watery or humid conditions, so wet conditions, not so dry conditions, and their eggs directly hatch out into tiny adults, as it is seen in this picture. So they are called direct developing frogs. If you look at the around 200 species that are found in the Western Ghats and all, around 60 of them or more than 60 of them belongs to this particular group. They are called bush frogs. They belong to a group called tree frogs. Under the group, they belong to two genuses, Raorchestus and Pseudophilotus. I'm not going to too much of scientific names. So this I can't avoid mentioning because it's a unique thing that we all should know. So why amphibians? Why should we talk about amphibians, or why? Yeah, why should we conserve amphibians? So they are nature's best pest control agents. So they are the nature's best natural pest control agents. This was a poster that was designed in an amphibian symposium. So like this is literally what will happen if the frogs go extinct. So I was talking to some kids like some years back, and I showed them this picture, and funnily one boy stood up and he asked, why should we worry? There are a lot of pesticides available.
Okay.
So like, yeah, that's the real situation. But then like we interacted a lot. I spoke to him, I interacted with him. I told him like, you speak to your parents or you go home. Every year there are different varieties or different like powers of pesticides are available in the market. Why is that? Because animals or these insects are getting resistant to all these things. So, and all these pesticides are eventually reaching us too. So in that sense, like nature's control agents are the best and foremost solution. But again, like we discussed earlier, they are facing with habitat destruction. They are facing with the threat of habitat destruction, like anything, all over the world. And obviously, as a person who love frogs, as a person who work on frogs, and as a person who photograph frogs, I would say that they are really beautiful too. These are some of the eyes of frogs that I have photographed in Kerala. So these are just some of them. There are many more who have like way more beautiful eyes or like beautiful frogs.
So different designs, no? What a fascinating eyes, no?
Yes. So the thing is, like whenever we say frog or a toad, the only thing that comes to our mind is the common one that we see around us, and like we have habituated in saying yuck or like moving away from it or shooing it away like that. It's not like that. They are our friends and they are really beautiful, but you just have to carefully observe them. So some of these frogs are like, they're really tiny. They're just like 15 millimeters, like 2 centimeters or 3 centimeter long. So yeah, they're really fascinating, wonderful creatures. So I'll just show some of the flagship or unique amphibians in the Western Ghats. So this is again another unique toad. Normally toads are said to be dry species seen in dry areas, like cosmopolitan distribution, wider distribution. They can tolerate dryness and all. But this toad is actually inhabiting our Western Ghats hill streams.
Okay.
The scientific name is Blera ornata and Blera rubigina. They are called Torrent Toads. Okay. As you can see, like most of these amphibians, according to their habitat, according to their lifestyle, their body will be designed in such a way. So Torrent Toad, it has the streamlined pointed body, and if you look at their legs, they have this webbing and all. So here, the one on the left is actually like it's displaying to the females their belly colors. So in this image, you can see those bright belly colors. So the animals, they do call to establish a territory and attract a mate and all. But at the same time, since they are in the stream, calling might not be enough. So they have this visual signaling too. They're just displaying their bright colors in their body. So always, when we talk about these amphibians or frogs with bright colors, it is connected to poisonous frogs. So when we look at an Indian perspective, none of the amphibians so far are found to be poisonous and harmful to humans. The toads, they have some kind of toxins, buffer toxins, but it is not harmful to humans as of our understanding at the moment. But the world famous arrow poison frogs, which are portrayed in the movies, in some of the animation series and all. So in them, what actually happens is they feed on some insects and the poison gets accumulated on their dorsal skin. And that is where in movies, the hero or the villain, they swab it with the arrow.
Yes. Someone is asking, how do you find out if it's a venomous, it's a poisonous, no? How do you find out?
So it's for that it needs detailed research and stuff. They look at the skin structure, the contents of the skin and all. It involves a lot of lab work and testing of their skin and skin secretions and all. So this arrow poison frogs is like that. So if an arrow poison frog is caught from its habitat and kept in an aquarium and fed with something else, they won't have that poison in their back. Only when they are in their field, in their natural ecosystem, and when they feed on their natural prey, that particular insect, they get that poison on their dorsal. And this is another interesting toad, which inhabits the tree. It is an arboreal toad. Again, the toads that we know are plumpy, like robust and dry-looking one. But this one again is found in the evergreen patches of the Western Ghats. So on the right is a citizen science initiative, led by Dr. Guru Raja and his team. So lot of photographers, naturalists, people who go to the field and see the field, record their observation about this frog, and people are mapping it based upon the citizen science initiative. So another unique group of amphibians in the Western Ghats is another torrent species. This is again a hill stream frog. They belong to the group called as Micrixalis, the family Micrixalidae. So again, they're very tiny, like around 2 centimeter to 3 centimeter maximum, and they live in the hill streams of Western Ghats. Around more than 24 species are found in the Western Ghats. Kerala has around 18 species. Unique thing about this guy or this group is that, like the toad that we discussed, they are in the stream, and the streams are mostly like really loud. So calling alone won't help them. So what they do is they do this visual signaling. In the stream, they sit on boulders and they start waving their leg. So they the male starts and it waves one leg and it waves the other leg. So it is a message to other males that this is my territory. If other males are there will be small fights. At the same time, it is also a message to the females that I have a safe territory. We can safely guard our eggs here. And all. So again, when we talk about amphibians, another unique thing that we should mention is the parental care. Some amphibians, in fact, carry the young ones in their gastric pouch. So they swallow the eggs, and until the eggs hatch out to adults, it is in their gastric pouch. So initially, everyone was wondering, so like other food stuff, why is it not getting digested? Then scientists found that in their eggs, they have a substance called as IG3, called as prostaglandins. And these prostaglandins once inside the mouth, inside the stomach of the parent, it inhabits the secretion of digestive juices.
Okay.
And so it develops and it comes out. Like that, some amphibians, they carry the young ones on the back. Some amphibians guard the egg, like when some other amphibians or predators, they fight them off, they shoo them off. And some amphibians like cover their eggs in mud so that it doesn't dry off. So those kind of high degree parental care is also seen in amphibians. So this is one unique amphibian. So there are a lot of species in it. Another one is the galaxy frog. This is one of the most beautiful.
Very colorful one. Huh?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, I can.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes.
I guess you're not audible for me. I mean, am I audible?
Yes.
To anyone else? Is it my problem or?
No, we can hear you, Sandeep. Hello. Guys, can you hear us?
I can't listen to you. 1 second.
Yes, we are audible.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, this is very colorful animal. A fellow friend of mine called Rajkumar KP. He is also an Edge fellow. He is currently working on this particular species.
Okay.
So very little is known about the species. So this is again another animal which is very colorful and beautiful. So they are found in some parts of Western Ghats. Another unique animal. Some like the relatives are found in Africa.
And it seems to be very close up, Sandeep. Are they allow you to go this much close up? How far you are how much distance, focal length?
This was shot with a 105 macro lens. So yeah,
they're used to human persons. They're not silent.
I mean, like if we don't disturb them too much.
Okay.
And like the one thing about it is like bird photography and mammal photography too. If you understand the animal and if you know the like behavior of the animal, it always helps.
Okay.
It's the same with snakes too. Like how far or how close we can go, like when they will attack or whether they are going to attack or they are okay.
Yeah, body language, language, amphibians also. Fine. Wow.
So this is one of the most unique amphibian in India itself. Like can be an ambassador of Indian amphibians all around the world. This is one amphibian that is very much popular. So it is an evolutionary distinct and globally endangered species. That is what EDGE is called, and we've been working on the scientific aspect as well as the conservation part of this frog.
Okay.
The speciality is that if you look at again before we start. So again, happy Onam, you already wished, but
yes.
For people who are not from Kerala, so Onam is one of the biggest festival in Kerala, and it's a festival of harvest, and it is actually a festival like we celebrated because of the homecoming of legendary king Mahabali. So Mahabali was a king who ruled Kerala, and Kerala was at its best during his reign. And he was banished to the underworld. Like that's the big story. I'm not diving into it. And he was given a chance to visit his people.
Okay.
From the underground, and that day is celebrated as
Onam. Yeah.
So the purple frog is actually the Mahabali of animal kingdom.
Wow.
He lives underground. The frog lives underground, and it comes out only for a day in a year. It is underground throughout the year, and it comes out only for a day. It lay eggs and it go underground again the same day. So it's just a matter of 3 to 4 hours they are out, or they are.
So how do you know when they will come out, Sandeep? Have you photographed? How do you know when they will come out?
So I have been following them since 2010-11 every year except this year. I missed them. I missed their breeding this year because of the COVID.
Okay.
Every year we follow them. So the first 2-3 years it was very tough for us. We go there, we be in the field. So like, towards the monsoon, when the rain hits the Western Ghats, the males call from the underground tunnels. They won't come up, but they will call within the underground tunnels. And if you go close, you can hear the call like retrieving underground, like going down.
Going down. Okay.
Yeah. So like on one particular day when the conditions are set, the conditions is again, like there are some conditions in the stream. I don't know, like we still don't know how they understand what is happening above ground, sitting on the ground.
Okay.
They might be looking at the amount of rain, they might be looking at the change in pressure, they might be looking at the temperature, or it might be a combination of all these variables.
Okay.
So when the setting is right, they come out, they lay egg, and they go underground again.
Okay.
So
you
earlier,
track them with voice only, the calls only, through calls you will track them.
Yes.
Okay.
And over the years, like it's been like, yeah, this is the 10th year, we understood what are the variables that trigger their surfacing.
Okay.
So in the last 5-6 years, we kind of like looking at the weather parameters and all the conditions of the habitat. We used to predict a 3-4 day window.
Okay.
And the breeding will happen within that 3-4 day window, like in the last couple of years. So
it's really interesting. I never knew this. I heard about it, but the detail one now only I'm hearing. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Super.
So earlier it was thought to be very rare, but it's not really rare. The fact that they're underground and their habit of coming above ground only for a day makes them like rarer for us. Like it's rare for us to see.
You have to be there at the correct time on exact time where it will be coming out. Yes.
And the unique thing about them is that their relatives are found in the islands of Seychelles and belonging to a group of frogs called Zooglosidae. So like birds or other animals who like flew over the sea, who drifted on wood or drifted on log or came with humans, amphibians can't tolerate salt water. So this relation can only be connected in a way that India was part of Africa. So they are living fossils or living evidence proving that India was part of Africa. Like the galaxy frog is also like that. Their relatives are also found in Africa. So evolutionary, they are distinct, and like they are globally endangered. Again, endangered as in that was our understanding a couple of years back. Before we understood where they were found, we thought that it was localized in one particular area. It's not like that. They are found in the Western Ghats. They are found only in the Western Ghats, but like in some specific habitats and specific areas in the Western Ghats. So recently, Dr. Karthik Vasudevan and his team in 2018 or 19, they described another species of Nasicapatrachus called Nasicapatrachus bhupati. So named after Dr. Bhupati, who passed away in Augusta Malays, who was a great researcher, who was a great scientist, who motivated, inspired a lot of students like me as well. So again, along with the research component, we are using all these informations to create interest among the public. Last year, in the 2019, Kerala declared Papilio Buddha, like the Buddha peacock, as a state butterfly. So then, like this idea struck me. It's like we have a state bird, state mammal, this state butterfly, and why not an amphibian? These are animals these are also animals that has to be conserved. It is not just the elephant and tiger or the larger animals. These lesser ones should also be noticed. So I submitted a proposal to make this one as a state amphibian, like an ambassador to all amphibians. So that will garner more attention to amphibians, which really went well. And we circulated posters like this happy Onam that I already showed. And we started calling it Mahabali frog also, so that public gets to know it. And when there is a need, so it is only when the public, the common man, comes to know about these animals, we can only push to get a proper policy making, to initiate a conservation movement or all those things. So that's where photographers have a role. Photography alone is not enough, but like photography is a powerful tool in that aspect. So only when people come to know about, there's a species like this, there's a species like that, it's so much beautiful, and this one is like, for some it might be ugly looking, but still it is unique in a different perspective, unique in its behavior and all. So this is one species that we have been working on. So, and this is one of the key amphibians in the Western. These are kind of some activities that we've been doing, educating students, sensitizing people using the roads at that time to avoid road kills. training people, protected area managers. And we did series of posters portraying the animal as like Mahabali, then during the floods, popular articles to create as much as interest among the population. This is another group of frog called as Nyctipotrachus night frog. As you can see here, this tiny one. This is the smallest frog in India. It is called as Nyctipotrachus minimus. Like that group. This is a very close relative of that frog. This one is 10 millimeter. That is like 1 centimeter big. It fits on a small 5 rupee coin. So here, this frog is actually guarding its egg. So it's standing guard to its egg.
But egg seems to be bigger on bigger.
Yeah.
In photograph, it looks like this. Foreground eggs are bigger than the real frog. Okay. Yeah.
So this is again a bizarre looking frog, but the name of this frog is really interesting. This was discovered by Dr. Biju and his team. So they named it Nyctipotrachus ucha.
Okay.
Because its call is like a mewing of a cat. So if you go to the habitat, if you go to the stream where they're present, you'll hear like hundreds of meow, 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 like tiny kitten, like meowing of a kitten. So like very interesting name. So I just thought of just sharing this one. So like when we move on to the group called Dracophorids, the tree frog, there are n number of beautiful frogs.
I love the eyes. I love the eyes.
Yeah.
So cute and pretty.
Yeah, this one is called Gatixalus asterops. Aster means star and ops means eye. Star-eyed tree frog, star-eyed gut frog. This is again another high altitude Western Ghat endemic. So moving on to the bush frogs, the direct developing frogs. They're all, like we already discussed, they have this tiny eggs which directly hatch out into miniature adults. Now I'll just quickly go through some of the photographs, from frog photographs, and I'll stop this thing and then I'll share my photographs. So this is a very common. This is one of the most commonest frog in Kerala. It's called the Wayanad bush frog, or scientifically it's known as Pseudophilotus wayanadensis. It's found from the coastal regions up to the high elevation mountains. So and here you can see them like inflating their vocal sac. So they are tiny animals, and to amplify, to get their sound to a much wider or longer distance, they use this vocal sac to amplify it. There are different types of vocal sac in different species. This is called a single vocal sac on its throat, and when it calls, it like bloats it and comes back. There's another frog called as Ponmudi bush frog. This one is also like calling for its mate. So yeah, that's about the general amphibian introduction. Now I'll share some of my photographs, like both the macros and some photographs from the field too. I'll just stop share and start once again.
I think interesting information so far, Sandeep. For me, it's few new things I learned. I hope others also enjoyed the information, because we know photographs, we have seen photographs and all, but the information about species are unique, new also. And someone is asking, which time of the year is purple frog out to lay eggs? Any season is there?
They lay eggs in the monsoon.
Monsoon, yeah. But the exact date that you have to be find out. Okay. Wow.
So yeah, again, like this is like one of my favorite moments in the field. I was in Agastya Malays, and like we were looking for frogs, and we were staying there for a long time. And we used to see this like huge male bear like every now and then, but mostly when it's about 6:30 p.m. when the light is down. And like over the course of like 1 year, we see him very often. And one fine morning, we saw him, me and my assistant. His name is Anthony. I call him Anthony Muthu. So like both of us were in our field station, and in front of our field station, it was a grassland. Early in the morning, like 7 in the morning, he woke me up. So we we go to field and we work in the field till like very late. Like we work like till 2-3 in the morning, like at night, because that's when the frogs are active. That's when we'll get to collect more data. So I was sleeping, and 7 in the morning, he woke me up and said, like, Sandeep, the guy is there, and he was in the grassland. So I took my camera and I ran to that place. I was stupid. I mean, like, bears are notorious, but like it was completely okay. I ran to that place and to find that it is gone. So I ran to the place where it was there and I spotted it and it was gone. And I was so sad. Like it was very clear. He was in the grassland and it was perfect lighting, perfect setting. Everything was right. And I missed it. That's where the knowledge of our field assistants or knowledge of the people in the forest who are always in the forest is very crucial. So he said, no, chill down. He went into that forest patch. You do one thing, you come down, we wait in this truck path, he will come through that way. 15 minutes after that, this bear came walking straight to us. And I was sitting and I was clicking, and I was so immersed in it. And I realized that I didn't realize that it was so close that it was too close. And like I have a couple more pictures where the nose is out of focus. That's when I realized, okay, now that's the limit. And I got scared. I got scared because like we have read a lot about bears and we've seen bears. I stood up. He was standing like 10-15 meters behind me. He came to me. Just that like it doesn't have a feel that it's just a single person. And the bear looked at me and it walked back. He also walked back. But like actually I got scared and I ran back a bit. But then like animal was also not bothered. It's like one moment. This was shot like in 2014. It was like long back. Is it changing?
Wait, not changing.
Slideshow. Yeah. So this is again one of my favorite pictures.
Is it Kurindippu?
Yeah, that is Kurinji. Strobilandus kundiana, the flower that blooms once in 12 years. So this is actually a shot. So like this Kurinji bloom happens like a carpet. This is a shot in a private area before the mass bloom that happened in 2018. There was a small bloom outside protected areas, and there was a shot at the wide angle macro lens. An all manual macro lens.
All manual lens.
And I was
single
like
shot. This one is single shot.
Not a single shot. I have several shots because like I was there for like 1.5-2 hours.
No. What I mean, all the elements in come only say single exposure or it's a double exposure.
Yeah. Single shot. So like the animal, the bee was like this close to my lens. So this is the lens was actually Lavova 15 mm wide angle macro. So the that lens is completely manual. The aperture,
manual focus,
focusing, everything is manual. So you have to pre-focus and wait. So back in 2016, I made this image. And ever since I had this frame in my mind.
Visualization. You want like
where a bee is coming to collect nectar with its habitat. And fortunately, I was lucky enough to get the flower, Kurinji as the flower, which blooms only once in 12 years. And in 2019, this image won me the first award for the state wildlife photography competition.
Anyway, congratulations.
Thanks. And incidentally, that year was when the Royal Geographical Society of London declared bees as the most important animal in the planet.
Yeah, pollination is all about bees.
Yes.
Super.
So this is
Gunther's so cute snake. And calm, no? The pose.
So like I said, like every time when we see a snake or an amphibian, I used to take a documentary shot. just to understand what the species is, what the species characters and all. And after that, like I think about like, yeah, what can I do to make the
Next
make
start,
it
next
unique?
make it.
And this one was like actually trying to move from one branch to another, and he was looking for the branch and he was holding high, and like I'd lean a bit down and I was shooting from this angle too.
Wow.
Trying to create a different perspective.
Yeah, looks
of course
like
there
a
are
Loki photography. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super.
Similarly, this is again like same species. It was resting on the fern, and I was shooting with a wide angle macro with the habitat and all. Suddenly, like it went down. And that's when like it clicked in my mind. Okay, kneel down or lie down on my back. I lied down on my back and looked at this perspective, like snake, the habitat, sky, and all.
Sky also.
Again, like a similar attempt to show the habitat. This is also another snake, brown-sided vine snake, which is found only in the Nilgiris.
Okay.
It's a normal shot, but this is one. This is one of my favorite species. It's called Araka for Pseudomalabaricus. The Malabar gliding frog is green, and sometimes they have like tiny black dots. But this one has got like slightly darker green stripes all over the body, like a tiger. So we call it green tiger.
Eye also, you can see some reflection is you can see in eyes.
Yeah. That's a diffuser.
Super.
It's a photograph from Parambiculam Tiger Reserve. Just the setting made me interesting. The rain, the fish owl.
Fish owl, I think tiny fish owl, no? Tiny fish owl.
No, it's normal brown fish owl.
Normal brown fish owl. Okay.
This again another like rare mongoose called brown mongoose. It is found in the like higher elevation forest in the Western Ghats. So this is again photographed in the Agastya Malays. So like this particular mongoose and its baby or its partner, two of them, they come regularly to the camp premises, mostly to munch on the litter that has been thrown out. I mean, like the organic litter, vegetable parts or like food waste and all. So this is like a very common sight in most of our field camps in higher elevation areas.
Okay. Someone is telling not able to see the photographs.
Madam, I can't hear you. Sorry.
Hello, guys. Can you see the photographs? Hello. I think
Hello.
Can you see the photographs, guys? Just a minute. Yes, they can see.
Can you hear
now
me?
It's okay. Yes. I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you, Sandeep.
Okay.
I think a little bit. Wow, it's a close up.
Yeah, it's again a close up. Yeah, this is a it was a very beautiful one called the Calotus grandis quamis, large scale forest lizard.
Okay.
Yeah, again, I'm trying to do a series. It's not like a new thing, but like since a long time, I used to try to capture beautiful eyes of these animals. And this is one animal which is very, very unique and habit wise, it's habitat wise, species wise, evolutionary, and like threat wise and all. This is very unique. This is called Cochin cane turtle.
Okay.
It is again another rare endemic reptile in the Western Ghats.
Okay.
So all these are the same species. This is another male.
Wow, red color
species. Yeah, red.
The details are amazing, Sandeep, for the macro. No? Yeah, super.
Recently, like 2-3 weeks back, somebody called me like telling that they got a turtle in their house, and it was in the town. It was at least like 20-30 kilometers from the forest.
Okay.
I said it will be the black turtle, and I asked them to send a photograph.
Okay.
And when they sent the photograph, it was this animal. We don't know how it ended up in the town,
Okay.
which is a strictly evergreen species.
Okay.
So me and my friend with the forest department's thing, we went there, we collected it, and we released it in the inside the forest in their habitat. So yeah, this is that individual which we released like 2-3 weeks back. Yeah, again, when we are in the field, I'm also interested in photographing other animals too. Of course, like who don't want to photograph or who don't want to see a hornbill. This was hornbills like casque butting together. It was a wonderful sight. This was photographed like 2 years back.
Super. Yeah, we can quickly run through the images, Sandeep. And
Yeah,
I'll
I'll quickly run through them. It's a cicada. It's a crested goshawk.
Okay, super.
And these are some egrets
Creative
flying
source,
towards me. Yeah.
Super.
Praveen's influence.
I understood.
There's elephants in Varichal. From Periyar.
Periyar, yeah. Wow. Creative sorts. Super.
Yeah.
But your most favorite subject is now amphibians, huh?
Amphibians and reptiles. Yeah.
Super. Okay, yeah. So I think we can go for question and answer sessions.
Yeah. Sure.
We're getting time.
Sure.
Let me check in webinar. Guys, if you want to ask any questions, please ask. Amchand is asking.
Your voice.
Yeah. Now, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Madam, I can't hear you.
You can log out now. Hello. Guys, can you hear my voice?
Now it's right. Now it's right.
I think your connection is going and coming. And Amchand was asking, how do frogs migrate? They migrate?
I mean, like, we haven't seen migrations of frogs like the other larger animals, but in the case of Western Ghats, if we take the case of example of Western Ghats, there is one frog called as bicolored frog. Okay. It's called Clinotarsus catips. So they lay eggs in the streams. Okay. And sometimes most of the streams lead to the reservoirs. Okay. And there are thousands of tadpoles and they come to the reservoir. So mostly they end up living in the reservoirs. And once they like metamorphosize into miniature adults, they come out of the reservoirs. Then they'll migrate from the reservoirs to the forest. Okay. And in some places there might be human habitations in between, and some places like it will be the forest itself. So there, at that period of the time, like we'll see like lots of these froglets, tiny ones, like hopping around to the forest. Not like long distance migration of
short distance. Okay. And one more question. How yes, we can see, where to find galaxy frog?
So yeah, it is there in the Western Ghats. It is there in some parts of Kerala. It is an anomalized, but again, the issue is like we can't disclose the location in a public domain. Yeah. We haven't done that. So recently there had been some problems, like the forest department people had been talking about. The issue is they are found under logs. Dead logs. So like we have been working in some locations since 2013-14. And like most of the time the location stays undisclosed.
Not disclosed for the research purpose. Yeah, fine. Yeah.
But the issue is like when like it is good that everyone should see it, everyone should photograph it, then only people
but
say
with
that.
Proper guidance,
lifting a log, seeing it, putting it back has to be done. So like if 10 people goes there and lift it and the log is not put back, the whole ecosystem is damaged. That kind of similar issues are happening, and so yeah. They can't disclose some of these locations in public, but there are areas like where we can go and see some cool frogs, just like anomalies, valparais, and all.
And someone is asking, can you tell me some factors?
Sorry, ma'am, I missed your voice again. I don't know.
Yeah, now I think your connection goes and comes, Sandeep. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I can
Yes,
hear you.
yes, fine. Yeah, one questions from Facebook. Sandeep bro, can you tell me some factors about group of Indo-Silveriana? What is this?
Indo Silverana is golden backed frogs.
Okay.
So earlier they were in the group called Rana, then they were in the group called Hylarana. So Indo Silveranas are basically wetland or stream frogs. So in the Western Ghats, they are found in the streams, and when we come to the plains, they are found in the wetlands. So yeah, they have the streamlined body. They're very unique. They're called golden backed frogs. There are a couple of species in that group called Indo Silverana. For a common man, even for people who are in the field, if you give two Indo Silveranas in hand, it is very tricky to identify them, because most of the species are very look-alike. They look very similar. So it's like a combination of factors: the habitat, the geography, some of the characters, the webbing, everything. Then only we can conclusively identify them.
Super. Anyway, I think we covered almost all the questions, Sandeep. It was really lovely session. Even I got to know so many information about amphibians. Okay. Yeah, last questions. We will take one more questions. Balaji is asking, is behavior and coloration of frogs different during monsoon times?
So the thing is, during the monsoon, unlike just like other animals, they don't have throughout the year to breed and produce young ones. So they have that very short window, which is mostly the monsoon. Some species breed after monsoon. So when they breed, when they're ready to breed, the males have to attract females. So the females are the ones who choose. And females choose the best males, depending upon it, because the females has to get the best genes. Nature wants to have the best genes to pass on. So that is determined based on so many factors. Sometimes the male sits and calls in a higher position. Sometimes the male calls for a longer duration. Sometimes super size males, or sometimes it will be smaller size males. And this coloration is a kind of sexual dimorphism, and it's kind of technique that the males acquire to attract females, to identify males from the females for their conspecifics. So the common bullfrog, they are slightly green in color, but during the monsoon, the male bullfrogs, they turn completely yellow. Our common Indian toads, they are slightly gray in color, but during the monsoon, the males are completely yellow. So those are decorations attained or achieved by the males to attract their mate.
Same thing, even for birds also, for breeding season, red munia become a really red color, no? It's interesting. Even amphibians also same pattern. Anyway, great, very knowledgeable, informative session, Sandeep. Thank you so much spending that. Also, Onam Day, your guys are enjoying with family, and have a great Onam once again. Okay, have a happy holidays also with family, Sandeep. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
For all our, please, you can say thank you for the video audience also.
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening to me. I would like to thank Wildlife Conservation in India, Radhika ma'am, for giving me an opportunity. Thank you, everyone, once again.
Thank you, everyone, for our Zoom participant also on Facebook, whoever is watching. Thank you so much. With this session and Wildlife Conservation of India, Wildlife Photography Talk Season 2, the finale session is over. Okay. And we will be coming soon with an interesting, informative session, maybe next month or next month. Okay, this, I think we covered almost 13 guest photographers with different field, like amphibians and birds, like butterflies. Really, this season 2 was very informative. I hope everyone enjoyed, and for photographers also, for the other informative students also. And I really thank you everyone for joining us all the weekends and giving all the support and love. Because of you guys, we are bringing all the speakers to you. And I would like to thank you, our Wildlife Conservation India team also, Ranjani, Lakshmi, Adar Balaji, and Saravanan, Ananda Ramasamy, and Ananda Krishnan. Everyone is, I am a friend, I am talking, but everyone is giving me all it's a teamwork, bringing all the photographers, and scheduling everything. So it's going went on well. Thank you everyone, WCI team, and thank you my fans and friends, followers, Love you. We always need your support and love. We'll bring more speakers, more programs in the future. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday, great weekend. I'll see you soon. Okay. And one more announcement. Last weekend, I was supposed to come online with unforeseen some things come up. So I could come online. All your Ask Radhia questions and all, it's there in Google form. I will come back with very soon on live to answer all your questions. Thank you so much. And happy Onam to all my Malayali Kerala friends. And for others, do take care with the still COVID, the little third wave is always on mind. Do wear mask and take care of yourself. And bye, everyone. Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you so much. Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah, we will see you soon, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.